I try to focus on the term of augment, but usually we say augmented reality. And also against the AR, there is a concept of virtual reality. So both are emerged in this 20, 30 years. But now people are talking about mixed reality. So I think this, transition between virtual and augmented reality is quite interesting. So one side, it's already the go-go is on the business, and also augmented reality started to be a business. So, but my task as an artist is about to liberate technology from capitalism. Usually technology is a slave for the capitalism to make something good, something cheaper. But actually technology has another aspect, more use, more stimulative, more creative, more, philosophical dimension. So I think artists need to develop this abandoned area from the capitalism. Might be very interesting. So about 30 years ago, I started to use GPS, but GPS was invented by American Army. It's totally a part of a weapon. Then people started to use car navigation as a rational means. But I really interested in about GPS because GPS tells you where you are. It's very simple but very interesting. And also augmented reality, as I told you a bit. So it's quite similar attitude to animism. Yeah. So the God will tell us through the chair or table or your shoes also can be a God. So by using tablet, the God come out. This makes sense. And also easy to understand and also enjoyable. So not only for the Pokemon, we have to develop more something more seriously. So that's the core thing, but it's a bit difficult to tell you on a presentation because I want to show many materials. Yeah, it just started about in the year after 2010. So I'm always checking about availability or stability. So augmented reality and mixed reality was in the laboratory in 90s. Those already exist, but quite difficult for with the public people. But after the smartphone came in, so many things changes now. So I'm really curious about to use a smartphone. But one side it's interesting to check where is the limit and also try to do something beyond. Sometimes not only by using technology, developing some more concepts. So always it's a kind of deal, chasing between the invention of a conception or ideas or a content and the technology. So from the beginning, computer has a strong relationship with the memory. Maybe at the beginning, they need some memory to store the data. So then, in the process of evolution, they invent different type of memory. So this race is still ongoing. Who can make a cheaper and bigger memory? Yeah, but also we as a user have to think about how can I put into this data. Always the business people, also the provider for the internet is talking about, could you have any more bigger data? Then like YouTube came in, and then this is the situation. But all of this data is just a imitation from the former media, like a photo and audio and recordings and music. Why now? We have to invent another type of way to memorize our activity. So I think this is still no one could reach about to combine the video and the GPS. So when we put together this data, this is totally different. So I could not have a chance to talk about this series of projects about using GPS with video. So the way of seeing the data is completely different from the album. Yeah, actually, in the moment, in the middle of the 90s, there are a lot of discussion whether the computer took over the book or newspaper and so on. But in real, not. The book has another functionality, another good interface for human. So that's why still we are using both. So, but it's really good to use book as a metaphor when we think about what the computer is. So then again, this time, so the book, I used the book for the Beyond the Pages in the middle of the 90s, and now we are in the middle of the 2010. Then again, I started to think about what is a book now. So, and also how can we connect between the data as a video, 3D, and the paper. So then I really wanted to make a beautiful book. Yeah, so at the beginning, honestly speaking, I could not capture what she is thinking. And also the title, Anarchy, is quite a strange name. Then now I can say, because usually archive is a kind of storage of the material someone already died or something. But then officially people started check and try to analyze and try to make a context with the dead materials. Then they can invent something more than the before. But her idea is very, very radical, because when artists start to make an archive, that must be an artwork. I think this is the only way to make a correct archive. It's a bit difficult to say now, because I just came here yesterday and I needed to prepare the documents for today's presentation. But in there, I was very much surprised, and also here a very strange mixture, because originally here is the people living, and then the Spanish invasion, and there is a mixture already. And now the modernization came in, and you have to solve a similar problem in a different way. So something like, the first thing, I was very much surprised, because people are living on top of the mountain. Usually in my country, people live near the river, and the mountain is already, we don't touch a lot. We don't touch a lot. So then the way of living must be very different. That means way of thinking must be very different. So I'm really curious, more detail. Maybe it would be good to do some workshop and try to solve a problem together. Then you will have a very, very different solution.